Y'all hear that? That's a welcome sound. Definitely for us high mountain folks. All these fires and dry weather lately. Music to my ears. Things are looking on the up and up.
Okay,
What are you
I'm ready
doing,
when you
boys?
are.
Okay, girls, let's go.
Go.
Come on, chickies. Come on. Come on, chickies. Come on, chickies.
Walking the chickies.
Come on, chickies. Go, keep going. Keep going. Come on. Tick, 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 tick. Up the hill. Tick, 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 tick. That one just ate a grasshopper.
Yep, let them get them. We want them eating those grasshoppers.
Spiders, bugs, and everything.
Yeah, you can have the spiders too.
Yes. Okay, chickies.
Any kind of bug, whatever.
Come on, tick, 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 tick.
Hang on a minute.
Oh.
There we go. He was facing me.
Yeah.
Where are you
You guys gonna
taking
hang out
these
here for a
things?
little while? Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Good girls. Ooh, so much fun.
Exciting.
Oops, sorry.
They're getting big.
Let's see, I got them in
You can
June,
leave them here for a few minutes if you want, but you don't want to stand in there, I don't think.
the end of May. May, June, July.
Sweetie.
So
Yeah.
they're like, they're really gonna be really big chickens because they're pretty big compared to, I mean, how old they are. I think it's like 4 or 5 months only.
Pretty little buckies.
They are.
So yeah, we did bring along the younger chickens. They're not so independent as the older ones, and so we weren't sure if they'd be all right, if they'd make it. If things got tough, so we packed them all up in a pet carrier here. And little Mrs. designed this little run out here, and so they've been living it up. This is their first taste of grass. Got some nice shade. We have had a regular guest of a hawk circling overhead, so we have got it top portion all screened off from predators. Yeah, they've been living it up. They're gonna miss this place when they have to go back to the old dirt chicken coop. Had their first taste of grasshopper. Getting plenty of protein, chicken scratch. As you can see. Ravenous little appetites they have. Bunch of gurs. They're getting pretty big. Pretty soon here they're gonna actually be producing something for us in return to all this for all this good treatment. case you were wondering about Bella. She's doing alright too. Jump up there. No. It will get smashed. Maybe this will scare him away. Keep going. Go, 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 go. Wait a second. All right. Go. Whew. Here goes nothing, guys. Here goes nothing. I'm a little nervous. I'm feeling a little, almost butterflies in the stomach, you know? It's like my wedding day all over again. It's just, man, I think it's all the anticipation leading up to this day where we're actually allowed back into our house, allowed back up to the property up there, and just to see what everything is going to look like and how dramatically the landscape has changed, and see what kind of damage, if there is any, to there we've got to fix, right? As you can tell, I'm driving the big loud F-250 7.3 diesel. It's still hanging in there. This old truck, it's gotten us through a lot of rock in a hard place kind of situations. And once again, this truck camper really was a lifesaver, because we ended up sleeping out of it. We had to evacuate all of our kitties. We got way too many cats, by the way. Yeah, we had all of our kitties, and they're still back there. I'm kind of cross my fingers, make sure none of them get asphyxiated back there. They tend to crawl up onto the bed when the top is shut, and there's like this much space. It's like not much I can do about it, but you know, they like to find that little crawl space. Makes them feel safe, I guess. I'm hoping they're gonna survive all right. They survived the first trip. They should be all right. But yeah, it's probably hair-raising, to say the least, back there for these poor kitties, especially on these mountain roads. This thing wobbling around like a big boat. Yeah, this truck and this truck camper have really worked out for us over the years. You know, through the Cameron Peak fire evacuations, we did the same thing. We had all the cats in the truck camper, and that's where we stayed as well. No, in fact, we had Tinos in the truck camper. I remember that now, because they don't get along, or they didn't get along when Tinos was still alive. So we had little perfect kitty, you know, doesn't stink when he uses the litter box, quiet Tinos. And then we had all the other kitties in a big cage that we put in different buildings, no matter, depending on where we stayed. YMCA was one of those locations. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. This time around, man, I've been on sleep deprivation for over a week now, because trying to sleep in a confined quarters with 6 other cats that, you know, they tend to be kind of nocturnal creatures, right? And they never learn, for some reason, how to cover up their own crap in the litter box, so that was fun. Eventually I ended up putting it outside. There's like a little cargo door on the bottom side of the camper, and that worked out pretty good, just to air things out, because geez, man, those cats stink. I don't know what they eat sometimes. But anyway, off topic as usual, guys. My mind kind of just bobbles around sometimes, like a bobblehead that I am. Yeah, we are making our way back to the property today, and so You guys afraid of heights? Check out this road. Fun, huh? It's like no guardrails, just a cliff on one side. Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart living up here in the high Rocky Mountains of Colorado. But yeah, so we're headed back. I'm gonna wrap this little rant up because I don't want this show to be too long today, but I'll check back once we get down to Drake and make sure the papers please, get us in, and it should be all good. From what I gathered, they opened up Highway 34 all the way from Loveland to local residents, and as well as Storm Mountain Road. So, and I guess we're now on voluntary evacuation status, and so no longer quote unquote right legally binding. I don't know if you watched that last show, but it's kind of an interesting deep dive into the actual enforceability, I guess, if that's a word, of these mandatory evacuations, and really like what law that that hangs on this whole appeal to authority kind of thing. And it's not like, I'm not here to just, like, my whole argument is like, you gotta have a really good reason not to leave when you have a massive, wildfire barreling down on you, because, it's like, what are things, right? What is property? What's a home? What's, all your little treasures that you put in your home? What's all that really worth compared to losing your life? So, again, as I put in that show, you gotta pick your battles, and, that's just one this time, at least, that I really wasn't too into that, right? Like, I guess I don't have too many attachments, I'd like to think anyway, to material things, but it would have sucked, I'll admit. From what we gather, our place is still there. We're not sure about the status of how much smoke got in the main house, if that did any damage. They're saying, some homes might be unlivable. You have to file a claim with your insurance, and they have to clean everything up, air everything out before you can even move back into the house, because it's like a safety, health, concern. But I don't think anyway that our house was that close to the fire. But I could be wrong. It could be really smelly when we get in there, and you might just have to air it out for a bit and hope for the best. Come back up here, camp out a few more nights, and then see what it smells like in a few days. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to catch you all up further on up the road, and we'll see what happens. What's up, guys? Thanks. Appreciate it, man. All right, well, that's easy. Just waving you on through. And I thought at least like some guy with some pointy hipped pants would be like, 9 papers please, 9. You know me, I'm just being silly, guys. This is actually score 2 for Larimer County and its handling of this whole situation so far. Other than some of the questioning, that first night when the fire was coming over the top of the hillside onto all those homes that eventually burned the next day. I don't know, there's still some questions out there, but other than that, everything has been handled pretty dang well. No room for complaining. And yeah, like just over a week, we're already being allowed back up. So that's pretty amazing, really. And again, it's not all the credit to the, give credit where credit's due. I think God needs a little credit too here, because just how that fire worked and how it's, on that first day when I evacuated, how the winds kind of backed off the fire there for a little bit. And if you look at the maps, just the lay of the land, it's pretty much, the fire is going to do what the fire wants to do, basically, right? And those little ants down here on the surface of this massive rock in space, trying to battle these giant blazes, you can only do so much, even with tankers and super scoopers and that Monsanto fire retardant, I guess. You can only do so much to combat such a destructive force as a wildfire. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at the maps, it pretty much burned where it was going to burn anyway. Actually, just spotted some smoke coming off of Palisades still. Still smoldering up there. Wow. That's interesting. She's still smoking. There's our sign. Welcome home, Storm Mountaineers. And here's all the firefighters all gathered around. That little bit of smoke coming off of Old Smoky still. Formerly Palisade now. These guys around me. Yep. See that smoke still billowing off of there. There's one house burned down. Alright, we're headed up the hill for the first time above our place, and let's do a quick drive through, get a sense of the damage. We gotta head back up to the parent-in-law's place to get the last few remaining items, and then should be good for the night. Power, internet went out a couple times due to lightning, but other than that, we're good. That's pretty amazing how fast they moved on that. REA, I guess. Yeah, shout out for the power company. Yeah, you'd be amazed how long persistent fire can be. How many days after the event it might still start up with a good right amount of wind, right? Yeah, so we're starting to get into the brown trees now. You can see that is all torched. Hopefully that home's okay down there. Really rich smell of smoke. All this up here. And I believe the house on the corner here is gone as well. Young couple. Oh wow, look at that. Shed or something like that, I think. What's left of it. Yeah, these fires are coming through here hot. Oh, this little house too. Wow. Not a whole lot left. Not a whole lot left of that place. Tank didn't blow up though, that's a good thing, I guess. And these are the guys I was thinking of, a younger couple. The guy plays a lot of music, records. We often talk to them whenever they're home. Oh, and that cool little, I'm kind of a trailer buff, as you may know. They have this cool little pull behind sleeper camper right there, and that's just a metal frame now, so both of them are. One of them was just a storage. Yeah. Storage trailer. Cargo trailer. Wow, that place got torched pretty quickly. And we're approaching our old home we used to rent from up here. I'm hoping it's still there. It's the most beautiful place we've ever lived in. This little property here got it pretty bad. It was just a shed basically. Kind kind of a little tough shed type of thing. All of his belongings are gone. I hope again that they had some kind of insurance. And I'm not going to head down this way just yet, but on the way back, after I get back home, I'll probably drive around a little bit more. That house is still there, that's good. I gotta get out for this. This is a bit emotional for me. Did yawner. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I was just thinking.
Maybe someday get it back, you know.
Yeah, so was I.
Good little memories.
Never be able to afford it though, huh?
But we had some really good memories here.
And I was just thinking, maybe that's the reason why we didn't live there, huh? Or we didn't own the place. Wanna walk over there real quick?
Yeah,
kind of curious to see what it looks like.
But we can come back later.
And his car is still here, it looks like.
Oh gosh,
It's just gone, like open horizon line. That's what blew me away. It's like, there's nothing there anymore. It's not a home anymore. His cars are fine.
hoping that no one's in your way or you're not in your way.
I doubt it.
Oh gosh.
His classic cars are still there though.
That is interesting.
That's pretty incredible. The tires and everything. Wow. Old Bob's place. And that lawnmower. Let's have that lawnmower. Jeez. That is pretty amazing. Wow.
Oh, so sad.
Man, he had probably so much like materials in here too for his machining and all kinds of tools. Wow.
It's so weird how it looks so small now, but it was just
Yeah, it's pretty dramatic. It's almost as bad as losing your own house.
almost.
It's almost ours.
It was ours for about 4 weeks.
Look at that little. Enough rich want that. The frame. Holy moly, that was such a cool house. Look at this view. I mean, it's still got the view. How much else?
I kind of feel like it's smiling
Okay.
because like there's drops and stuff like it just kind of went out to
That's the metal. Oh, that's the plastic roof that we had. That's what we had right here. Is that ours?
I bet it was the original landlady, remember?
Hmm.
She had a lot of stuff around.
Wowzers. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty incredible. This is where my little greenhouse used to be. I don't know why I tore that thing down, but it was pretty cool. Pretty solid little greenhouse. I'm trying to like,
I know. We'll have to come back.
I guess our tree didn't survive. I was wondering if we still had a apple tree or something. Aspens, we planted some aspens.
Oh, God.
Ah, that's a little heart-wrenching.
Oh gosh, check this out.
See what's over here.
The molten lead or whatever that
Oh,
was.
yeah. That must have been hot.
There was a shed here.
That would be kind of
sheds.
cool, actually. Just for a little memento, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That pot's still there, man. Heat resistant.
Another little go-kart thing.
So it was like from
Tires.
one of the tires. Yeah, right there. There's another part. Those aluminum wheels.
Yeah.
Yep, just like we saw in the Marshall fire. Yeah, we better make sure we're not blocking anybody. Could get a big fine for that. And look at that. I wouldn't mind having that puppy. It survived.
Even the lawnmower survived.
Oh, that's what's weird.
It is so weird.
The classic cars. They had to survive. Classic cars.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. That was I was saying on the way up, the most beautiful place we've ever lived.
Yes, it is. Loved it.
There's no place that's paradise on this planet. Nothing lasts forever.
It's true. Last time when it was the flood in 2013 that we learned that the property sold.
Yep.
We had been
Right
trying all
before the
summer
flood.
to
It's
get
like
the land.
literally the week before the flood, I think, right? And it was on a contract. We're like,
No, it was the night of the flood. We went down to see the river flooding, and then we came back.
that, huh?
And the landlord called and said, I sold the house already.
This guy's probably wondering what we're doing. I'll just tell him just to rent there and stuff. Or maybe he's just going for a walk. Is that Danny? That's not Danny. Okay. So I'm not trying to be a drama queen or anything like that, melodramatic, but that's a big loss for us. That was such a beautiful place. I don't know if you heard little missus there talking while we were walking, but I think she said it was the night of the flood that it finally went under contract, and that was back when we were renting here. Landowner at the time, mixed feelings about her after all that happened, but she gave us I don't think it was a full year to get ready, because she knew from the beginning when we first rented that place, we're like, man, if you ever wanted to sell, we're interested, right? And yeah, she gave us pretty short notice, and so we didn't have a whole lot of time. We never have had a whole lot of money, the whole time we've been together. Always been self-employed, we had different businesses like house cleaning or window cleaning or different home services type thing, handyman work, yard work. But so at the time it was hard for us to qualify because it was like a cash-only loan because the place wasn't up to code. But it was, hopefully I can pull up some pictures of this place. It was just the perfect place for us, it's just enough space. We had all the cats there. Like I said, I built a greenhouse, solid greenhouse. This thing wouldn't even shake with the most mighty wind we'd get up here. And the guy actually, who ended up buying it, tore it down. I was kind of peeved about that, but because I spent so much time building that thing. But yeah, we tried, but we didn't have enough. What happened with me? I listened to a friend of ours who used to be a broker, and I don't think she realized what she was telling me, but she told me to get rid of one of my lines of credit, and they need 2 lines of credit. But on top of that, I don't think we would have qualified anyway, just based upon our income. And they're getting bathed back there in smoke dust. She's just checking it out with her mom. But yeah, we always kind of hoped in the back of our mind every time we passed that place on a walk, someday, maybe someday, we'll have our act together. We'll have enough money saved up that we can buy that place back. And actually, the guy who bought it shortly after died of a heart attack. Actually, on the way up I almost blame him, up the way up the access road. As crazy as that road is, and it's almost a traffic jam. They got the rest of the road blocked off right now. I'll do some drone footage, so we can get a good view. But for right now, it's blocked off, so that's as far as I can drive up. So I got to try to back up with the trailer and everything now. But yeah, so he died and his kids inherited it, and they didn't do anything with it. He had these classic cars sitting out there in the snow. Sometimes they'd be uncovered, and I was like, what is going on with this place? And I knew he had all kinds of stuff in there. He was a machinist. And so he's always working on little projects. You saw some of that. Just little glimpses of what made this guy tick. His wife, tragically, actually, before he bought that place, died of cancer, so he was all alone. But these kids, inherited it, so so we weren't sure, were they going to sell it? I was always kind of curious. I'd check now and then to see on the home listings if if put on the market yet. But ever since he died, they never came back and did anything with that property. And now it's completely gone. And it's just, man, it's one of those dream-crushing moments in life, right, guys? You just, more and more as a Christian, you realize that this earth is not our home, right? We look towards, heavenward for the heavenly kingdom and the renewed earth someday. I talked about how God may create things someday where, sin doesn't destroy any longer, right? So we don't have forests that burn up in forest fires. And Jesus tells us not to put our treasures on this earth and things that, rust away or burn up, in this case, in a forest fire, but build our kingdom eternally, the eternal kingdom. Pour your time into that, basically. So yeah, I think my faith definitely helps me to face these kind of challenges in life where you just gotta let go of things, So everything in this life is transient, right? Life is short. I gotta get going. These guys might need to get around me, so we'll check back in a bit. Headed back up to the retreat, and then I gotta get water. That's why I got this big trailer. Maybe I'll share some more thoughts here shortly, but then get back home, and maybe once this rain dries up a little bit, I might get back out and do some more filming. I sure missed that nice long private driveway to this place. Privacy is key if you want your freedom. Let's see where these guys are headed. Huh? Not that way? Just behind me there, some friends of ours. Their place is still there, so that's pretty amazing. But his classic truck got all burned up. And yeah, that's where I stopped. If you remember, that was like the day before I left for the evacuation. That was the first day of the mandatory evacuations. And that's where I stopped to do a little quick drone footage of the fire. This guy's little place is still here. This house behind me is still there. It'll just hop from one place to the next. Is that little yurt still there? Oh my God, it might even still be a yurt down here. It looks pretty black though, if that's what it is. Yeah, all this place is just charred. You can see it's really a dark day in many ways, I guess. Got a little yurt property. That little yurt survived. That's pretty incredible. Wow. That place, I mean, if nothing else, that's a testament to steel roof right there. Looks like he's got some bees too. I'm not sure if the bees survived, but not likely. Check this one too out. This is such a beautiful big log cabin. I used to do some work for these guys, like some yard work. I'm not gonna show their sign or their name or anything, but I mean, just incredible, huge log cabin, kind of modern looking, and just an amazing view. They'd rent this place out in the summertime. Said it'd pay for itself. I'll stop showing you myself, but yeah, that house is just completely gone. Beautiful big deck overlooking that amazing view. It's nothing but wilderness back there. Just looking at the back 40, they're the 40-acre plots. You could probably get some sense of how beautiful the place was just from the landscaping, right? It was a huge cabin. Like I said, with a nice big deck. The deck's still there. I mean, technically, probably not too safe, but yeah, that's pretty incredible. Got this fire going through here, lighting up these surrounding trees would just completely explode a house like that, you know? Wow. All right, I won't spend any more time there. I don't want to be too invasive or anything like that, but if there's not people standing around grieving, I definitely wouldn't be one of those guys who's going to harass people while they're sitting there trying to process things. But there's another house right up here. It's just completely gone. Yeah, this is the one I just passed on the other road. I don't know if you can see much of it there, but that's where the house was, and that was an older house. Probably built in the, I think, 80s, I'm thinking. Late 70s, maybe even. Definitely an older house. Yeah, as you can see, the propane tank's still there. Didn't blow up, so might have been empty. They didn't live there. I didn't see anybody. In fact, the whole time I've lived up here, even renting in the old house, never even seen anybody, I don't think, visit that place. So not sure what the status of that is, but let's get back in the truck. Another house just next to this large cabin to the right there. Another house we were even considering back during the when things were cheap, right? Like 10 years ago. We were considering possibly trying to buy that place. Another beautiful private lot with a huge view back there. Not much left, as you can see that little cargo. Not much left of that cargo trailer either. This blue house made it. There. The blue house survived. Yeah, it just flew through this forest pretty fast. See a lot of burntness to the right over here. Burnt area. I'm trying to sound more technical. I know what I'm talking about. A little black squirrel just ran across the street. I don't know if you saw that. He's a survivor. Yeah, that's the other thing, a tragedy. A lot of the wildlife that don't make it can't outrun the fire. So this is another area I'm looking at right now where the house is missing. This was actually the house. It's in the trees now, you can't see it anyway. This was actually the house that was broadcast on, I think it was Fox 31 actually. And we heard from the owner over the email group or Facebook, I think. And they said that's when they first recognized or realized that they no longer had a house. Imagine that, watching the news one night. And it's just like, boom, hits you. So what I felt back there is probably nothing, compared to what some of these people feel when they lose their real house and all their belongings. I'll show you what it looks like though, the area. Now it's all public, right? Yeah, that little rancho still there with a donkey. Whenever they have a donkey, they have 2, I think. And this is, you might remember, me looking back. I was facing the other direction, but this is the staging area of all those firefighters, where I interviewed one of them and he didn't want to be on camera. But yeah, this is the place. That's how close we got here. Houses over here on the left are all good. There's people there, so I'm not gonna film them. Gonna head back for now. We got more things to do. I'm gonna come back and do a more thorough investigation, I guess, let's say. When I got a little more time. Sorry for all the noise, but I'm driving this big F-250 on a real bumpy road, and she's a diesel, so she tends to complain a bit, you know? A little bit moody. What I was actually surprised about was how the fire crept around over here towards Seam Rock. Let me show you that real quick. As you can see where all the trees are discolored. Way back in there. See how that fire went way back in there. And I don't know what kind of destruction it did back there. I'm pretty sure what we just drove through was the hardest hit. I mean, in fact, I can pretty much state that as a fact. Just right above our house. You can see where this guy, one of the locals that stayed, bulldozed a line right here in the grass to try to protect everybody out down here in the meadow. So that's pretty crazy. You probably see that line of dirt up there. And yeah, again, praise God that you know, everybody made it out alive. No casualties in this fire. So that's pretty amazing. Yeah, staging area in front of me, a bunch of vehicles parked. Man, it's just so surreal, guys. I don't know if you can tell. A little bit more than average of a space cadet right now. I know this is probably making so much noise. My bad, guys. I've got the worst audio this time. I know it. I can just tell. I know from experience what kind of audio we're talking about right now. Worst. Try to not make my shows unnecessarily annoying. You know, besides the sound of my voice and all the crap I have to, all the smack I have to talk all the time, right? I swear it's funny how, I don't know, I'll just put out a show that's just totally like that last show. It's just, I don't know what somebody could have found wrong with that, but I lose a subscriber. It's like, okay, guys, you know, if everybody's that sensitive out there in the world, I mean, come on, man. You know, if the only way you can get along with humanity is to do so through a algorithmic little bubble on the internet, right, that just tells you everything you want to hear and lines you up with like-minded people that think exactly like you. Imagine just getting along with real people in the real world, right? That's all I'm saying. I mean, just and these kids these days that are raised that way, right? Like Bill Gates says, technology and the internet, it's gonna bring us all together, guys. Yeah. It's gonna bring humanity all together. More divided than ever before in probably human history. But we're connected, right? We got the internet, but the only sphere of communication, the only outlet of expression is guarded through algorithms just to make sure nobody gets offended, right? So it's really dark right now, but I'll try to show you this. Kind of wanted to film this earlier. This is Palisade Mountain, and it is pretty torched. I mean, I'm just picturing as a can I call myself a cinematographer? I don't know if I can call myself, but a guy who does a lot of filming. Just a real vague general statement. I can just imagine, like, and with an active imagination too, if you haven't noticed, I could just imagine what this would have looked like when this whole place was on fire. That had to have been pretty dramatic. I haven't seen any footage of it yet, but I'm sure it's out there, right? Like that Trump earshot video. Pretty sure it's out there somewhere. It's just a matter of time until it's released to the public. Anyway, give me a second. So I'm just trying to work things out in my brain a little bit here. I try to make sense of things, oftentimes tragedy, of course, through a spiritual lens, I guess. And, I just kind of like when we were just walking back there, surveying this barren, blackened ground, what's left of that house that we still loved and have so many memories. Even possible future plans, right? All these dreams tied into this place, even though it wasn't ours, even though it's not something that we actually owned. As we were walking, I just kind of, something that came to me, just call it what you will, is the idea that maybe, just maybe, that's why we never bought the place. That's, sometimes, God sees the beginning from the end from the beginning. That makes more sense. But, and when we don't, right? We're stuck in this finite existence where we just see what's in front of us. We don't know the future, but God does. And sometimes things that crush us, right? Crush all of our hopes and dreams are actually, in the long run, God's providence, God looking out for us, even though it doesn't feel like that when you're in the moment, right? And I even thought of if I would have stayed, would I have been a little bit too emotionally wrapped up in that place? If I was out there with some of the neighbors trying to stamp out fires, would I have gotten a little bit too emotionally tied to that place, to where it wouldn't have been safe? I don't know. I just try to run through different scenarios and would have beens, could have beens, and with a heavenly perspective, like I say. God is sovereign. God is the Alpha and the Omega. Ultimately, He knows what's best for us. Maybe it's for the better that we never owned that place. 'Cause, man, I can't imagine losing it if it was really home still, if we still called the place home. That would have been pretty brutal. It's hard enough as is, and it's probably a hard loss for Bob's family as well. I know he had at least one son. I think he had more siblings than that, but we didn't know him all that well. But as soon as he moved into the place, we tried to make friends, and he's a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. He just seemed, more than anything, lonely, after having lost his wife. now buying his dream home all by himself, you know. Big empty house. It's not that big of a house, actually. It's just, I think it was about, and how many square foot was that? If you don't count the upper level, because it had a loft, which is where we used to sleep. Man, on those winter nights with that wood burning stove going, it would get plenty toasty up there. But I don't think the roof was high enough to count the loft space as square footage. So it was only about 800 square foot, I think. It was a really tiny home, but it felt so spacious because it had these massive windows that overlooked that epic view. I mean, you could see the Long's Peak, snow-capped peaks, and you were just out in your own little world. You could see the whole, what they call the fish bowl below. All these little tiny houses, but they were insignificant, right? You had Mrs. Whipple, who's still there. Her house is still there, thank God. And her husband died too a few years back, but you couldn't even see your neighbors. That private driveway. And it's just like you're up there in your own little world. You know, we had a garden. It was on a timed watering system. Greenhouse that I built. And it was this first kind of, you know, it was those first few years where we had our own place. And that's, I guess, what kind of made it special. Forging our own path, you know, in our own, in our new life together. With the kitties and just us, man, it's just so peaceful up there. It's one of those places you could walk out butt naked and nobody would see you. You know what I mean? I don't know if I did that. I might have done that once or twice, but it's just, yeah, the long driveway offers you so much freedom to do whatever you want to do without the nosy neighbors, you know, looking over your shoulder at all times. But yeah, it's just so heartbreaking to see that place completely gone. Such a beautiful little cabin. Like I said, a little wood burning stove, a little loft. Real modest, right? A little kitchen, one bathroom. But this awesome sunroom with these massive windows, just, it was all about the view. And it had a big deck. I love that deck. It's a little dilapidated and needed some work, but man, it's just completely gone. It's just, I'd like to think of myself as somebody who doesn't get too clingy to material things. You know, like I said, with a Christian perspective, you're always trying to keep in mind that this world is not our home, you know. Everything is temporal. We're looking towards God's kingdom, heavenly kingdom, and a new earth where we'll have new bodies, you know. Looking towards eternity. And you can't find it on this fallen planet, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Just trying to make sense of this event today. Seeing that was still hard to take in. Still processing. But thanks for coming along with me on this journey. And we'll see how it goes. You know, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Keep the faith, people. Do not know what tomorrow will bring. God alone knows what the future holds. There's a lot of traffic on this road. I gotta get going. Anyway, until next time, this is Nightwatch N8, signing out.
The National Weather Service in Denver has extended a flash flood warning for the Alexander Mountain burn scar in southeastern Larimer County.